It's 365 Hawaii.
With Eric and Julie Seamless.
And as you can see here that Julie has definitely lost her voice. She has been traveling, we have both been traveling, and kind of came up with a sickness. So we thought we'd kind of touch on a few things today. One is, what's going on since we left, maybe a couple things, talk about updates of things. And the other one is, what's it like to be sick here in Hawaii, and how do we get sick, and why is it different than the mainland? So let's get into it. Okay, so today is a very clear day. You can tell by how blue the water is way out there and how light color. It usually isn't quite that. You usually got a little haze in the air. And Hualalai up there is super clear. Mauna Loa, you can see clearly today, and you can see all the way from the top all the way down, and it means long mountain, and you can really see how long it is today. So definitely a cool thing to check out. And we're here at Old A's, which used to be originally the airport way back in the 60s.
So he's going to film me trying to tell you guys what's going on in Hawaii, and I'm sure that this sounds so beautiful to all of you. So I think I'm going to let him do a lot of the talking on this video, but I want to say hello. It's been a while, and looking forward to getting my voice back and getting on with my life.
We have been gone a little while. So we actually were traveling on the mainland, and it's you guys always know about this. The going back and forth part is definitely a little bit difficult. And we went to my 40th high school reunion, and it was kind of interesting coming back from being here and seeing. Well, it was in the Silicon Valley. I went to Fremont High School in Sunnyvale, California, and my class was 400, and we had 130 people there. And it was kind of interesting going back after 40 years to kind of check out all these people and see why they chose the life they did and what happened. And some people stayed in California. Grew like crazy when I was growing up, and a lot of people left. And so it was just kind of interesting, kind of touching base with these people to see why they stayed. About 25% of them stayed in there. And then I thought most people would have, gone out to the Central Valley or something like that, but they went up to Oregon, and Washington was a big place. So with that trip, it definitely was good, and we got to learn a lot out of it. But coming back, traveling tends to make it, if people are sick, you can get sick pretty easy. And I bet, like I said, you guys definitely know this. And Julie had her fill of what happened with that. And so today I thought we'd just kind of discuss a little bit about, what's it like? Is it different here in Hawaii than it is in the mainland? Because we're outside all the time, or does it stay the same?
Well, being sick on the mainland or in Hawaii, I think kind of sucks. But I'll tell you guys, sitting out here in the sun and under the palm trees, I've been in bed for like the last 4 or 5 days. Coming outside finally, it's just like I should have done this sooner. Sitting in the sun is amazing. I know you guys also live, you guys talk about flu season, and it's like, fall, and it's cold outside, usually when this stuff starts to happen. But best thing about being in Hawaii is that it's like 80 already.
Yeah.
And it's baking the niceness of that, just getting out and being just in the sun makes me feel better.
I can add a little to that. It's one of those things that it's because we don't stay inside too much. I guess if you're in air conditioning, but in general, where we exist, there's not as much air. I mean, air conditioning exists, but we're kind of out and about, and it's always, the doors are always open. You always have some connection to the outside. So the question is, does illness spread as much, right? I mean, that's kind of one of the things it does. And I would say this, I would say that I tend to get sick a lot less here than I did in the mainland when everybody was in a tight room going together, except for when you get on an airplane, of course. But so because of that, you kind of miss all of the smaller ones. And then what seems to come to Hawaii is the illnesses that are the ones that have the strong ones. It's not just some mild cold. It's and if you're going to get sick, you really get sick. And I get sick about maybe once a year or something like that. But when you do get sick, then they're always ones that definitely take you down. And this is this is one that happened to Julie this time too. And it seems to be going around.
Yeah. And I can't confirm it's COVID. My doctor says it was a false negative because I tested too soon. But again, I think I have a pretty strong immune system, and this one kicked my ass.
So it just shows you, but even in Hawaii, you do get sick. I mean, that's one of the things.
I think you get sicker faster by traveling.
Yeah. Okay. And then that goes to we have to laugh because in the last 3 years, I think once a year, every time we got on a plane, we ended up catching something, and it's kind of one of those germ the germ.
Yeah, from the airport, from the plane.
Yeah, from anything.
Yeah,
And
in fact, our friends told us to wear a mask. Make sure you wear a mask on the plane. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm telling you guys, I'm supposed to be going again to Las Vegas this next weekend for a conference. I'm wearing a mask on the plane.
Yeah, and I can kind of go. We know that actually, it's funny about those masks is that, you know, when we had COVID, everybody wore a mask literally here for what was it, at least a year, right? Something like that. And during that time, nobody ever got sick. It was kind of amazing. And then here, all of a sudden, now, you know, now that we're out and about,
life is coming back into. People get sick. You know, you get colds, you get flus. But definitely, if you guys are traveling, if you live here and you want to go out, I'm going to advocate for they be careful. But also, I went to Oahu in February and came back with COVID. So even inter-island travel sometimes.
Yeah, it's just that airplane. But I will say, as you know, Julie was talking about, you know, coming out here and it's, you know, here it is. It's probably 80 degrees out this morning, you know, something like that, and it's nice to get out in the sun. And I think, you know, having the sun come in and give you a little bit of vitamin D definitely makes you healthier faster. And also, we're over here behind us is the salt water. So I think even the salt air definitely tends to do it. So it's interesting that even when you're sick, and like you know, like normally when you're on the mainland, you get the chills and you're in bed, you just freeze and it's horrible. But at least if the temperature's 80 degrees, at least the chills aren't quite so strong.
They negative, positive ions.
Yeah, the positive ions
coming
definitely
in from the ocean. You know, they for hundreds of years, you guys, they send sick people to the ocean. There's a good reason. So anyway, beyond me being sick, I'm gonna get over it. I've got so much stuff going on in my life. I just can't. I told a couple people, I'm like, I don't have time to be sick. This is not happening. But one of the things we also wanted to talk about is a little bit of an update of what's going on here in October.
Yeah. And I think the big one that's coming up is, of course, that we're going to be covering is Ironman. And this year we're going to be doing a little bit different.
65 Hawaii Island Community Fund
is going to be covering, we've got 2 days at the
nutrition aid station.
And so because of that, we are going to be covering it. So we're going to be there, and we're going to do a video to kind of show you what's happening from the perspective of volunteering, right? I mean, because that's kind of been our thing lately, is, you know, helping out and stuff like that. So that is the plan.
Yeah, and our tent is right next to the Kingham Hotel, which is right next to the transition of the bike and the run.
Meaning that we are right in the middle of everywhere. Right. So it should be interesting, because, you know, last couple of years we've been sort of man on the street, kind of gone all around. But this one, we're definitely going to be, you know, right there and kind of see what happens. So I'm excited to take you guys along. And part of our thing is that we haven't posted quite as many videos as we normally do, is just because, you know, traveling has definitely taken a lot out of us. And so
it certainly has.
Well, in terms of being sick, but also just getting things done. It's funny, we've had 2 trips, and we've, you know, I don't know if you follow our last one, but we also went to Yellowstone and all that. So with all those taking place, we have been kind of off schedule. But, you know, we've been posting for almost 4 years now. So it's a long time since and we literally post, you know, normally it's about once a week that we try to do it. So, you know, it was kind of nice to get a break, because they talk about that YouTube burnout. And these videos do
that's what's killing me.
It do take a little bit of effort, and Julie's been running on high for the last 5 years straight. That's
60.
So anyways, so that's it. And then the other thing that we've got coming up, just to let you guys know that we're working on right now, is that we're also going to be doing we're doing a video on parking right now. And there's been a lot of things that have been happening in parking downtown. And our goal is to hopefully, you know, work on the parking problem. And can you give them just a little teaser what you're going to be doing with us, without talking too much?
I know you guys are like this. I'm so irritated by your voice right now. I can't take it. But we are interviewing the owner of Foster's, and he's going to talk about a little bit what happened and what's changed. They are trying to make it a better experience. The business owners have gotten together. We are putting together a public meeting at the Civic Center, and I'll give you more information about that. But we're going to be getting the public together to talk about the problems, and so hopefully we can find some solutions. So we are definitely spearheading the call to action to try and get something handled with the parking.
And then to go with that, we'll do a video kind of about what has happened up until this time, just kind of all the things that we've done up until to give you kind of an idea.
It's called the Parking Lot Episode Crisis.
So it's definitely a big deal here in Hawaii. You know what I mean? I know it's hard, but you know, when they're charging $18 for parking an hour, there's something going on there. Yeah. And so we're going to see if we can make that happen. So that's that. So those are our upcoming things.
Oh yeah, and then we're also going to be doing a quarterly business update. There's some really cool, exciting new businesses that have opened recently that we're excited to introduce you to. as soon as I get my voice back.
Well, hopefully you should be in a couple days to get it back. So I hope I hope you kind of got a little idea of what's going on, and a little bit of that we're still out and still living, as the saying goes. A little bit slightly man down, but we're doing as good as we can.
Yeah.
But
we always want to make sure you guys get a chance to see something pretty, learn something interesting. So we're showing you this beautiful day here with the Old Airport, and Eric's going to give you a little bit of like a little thing about the mountain. But also I'm leaning into the Hawaiian energies of healing here today. And that's something that this island is known for, is its healing energies. So I'm soaking those all in today.
getting a little bit here. So all right, so we'll catch up with you guys again next week, and it was good chatting with you. Hadn't been talking to you that as much anymore.
So I'm not going to give you guys the old classic USS Realtor spiel, but you know it's there.
And with that, we say
Aloha.
aloha.